You guys don't know the pain of recording a video, going to edit it, and figuring out that you were muted the whole time. So this is my second go at this video. The first time was about 22 minutes, so maybe I was going over too many things. Maybe it was like a do-over, okay? But anyways, as you can maybe tell from the title of the video, I'm gonna go over some heroes in the Colosseum, specifically my top 5 heroes. Let me say that again. My top 5 heroes. Meaning that if I don't have the hero, it ain't gonna be in my top 5. If I don't have the hero maxed, it ain't gonna be in my top 5. So I'm not wrong. You're also not wrong if you have a different choice. It's okay. It's okay. But either way, with all of that being said, I don't think that Colosseum gets talked about enough, so I kind of want to fill that void. I know that a bunch of you are not even interested in Colosseum, but for those of you that are like me and do enjoy Colosseum, do enjoy changing your teams, following the constellation, etc., I'm going to be covering Colosseum for the next, I don't know, couple of days, specifically on these 5 heroes that I'm going to go over. Now, let me go ahead and just jump into it because number 5 was the hardest for me to decide on because there were so many other ones that could have been at number 5, but I finally got my list down. So let's go ahead and jump into number 5. I will have some honorable mentions at the end, but I don't want to do it at the beginning because then you'll know that they're just not going to be there at all. So at the end, I'll have some honorable mentions. Let's go. Alright, so at number 5, I chose Grove Guardian. There's many reasons why I really like Grove Guardian. First of all, he's pretty much like an anti-mage because his ulti brings a silence, and Colosseum has a lot of mages running around. But not only that, he actually brings decent damage. He brings a stun, he brings damage over time with Poison Paradise, and he brings damage in an area. So he pretty much brings everything you would want from a hero. And like I said, 5, there was a couple of other heroes that could have been here, but Grove Guardian's kit and usefulness in the Colosseum definitely put him over the top over the last other ones that I had in mind. And honestly, in most teams, he would have a say, and really the only time that he won't really be that good is whenever you're going up against a team that's very physical, meaning they don't have any mages, not much healer or anything like that. Then Grove Guardian can easily be replaced by somebody else. But if you're going up against a Lore Weaver, Petite Devil, Witch Doll, Snail Princess, etc., he's a very good choice. So Grove Guardian, number 5, that's the one I'm going with. Now on to number 4. Now number 4, I went with Petite Devil, but Petite Devil could easily be also number 3. So I feel like my 3 and 4 are interchangeable, but there are a couple of reasons why Petite Devil's number 4 and not 3. But I'll get into that once we get to number 3. But Petite Devil, her kit doesn't really bring too much. Let's just say that she does a lot of magic damage. So she has burst magic damage, she has overtime magic damage, and her passive brings her magic attack to ridiculous levels. But what really sets her apart is Devil's Lullaby. She stuns for 5 seconds, and it is global, meaning that no matter where your enemy heroes are, she will stun them for 5 seconds. And in Colosseum, 5 seconds is it's literally an eternity. Like it will turn matches in your favor when you are about to lose. So Devil's Lullaby definitely sets her apart from other ones. But the one thing that I really don't like about her is, first of all, her intelligence is too high. Now you might say, well, higher intelligence means more damage, etc. And while yes, that is true, her intelligence is so much higher than most of the other heroes that she is the one that's usually first targeted by assassins, Demon Slayer, Femme Fatale, etc. And when you're the one that they target first and they load up on assassins, Petite Devil is not going to live very long unless she's like helped by Constellation, etc. But that brings me to my other negative thing about her. It's her defense. It's 90. Like, that's atrocious. especially when your weakest counter or your strongest counter is assassins, where they're gonna do a bunch of physical damage. That's not good to have such a low defense. So that's why I brought her down to number 4 instead of number 3. But still, Petite Devil can easily win you a match by herself. She's insane. But with all of that being said, let's look at the one that I chose above her, which is number 3. The Witch Doll at number 3. Now, why is she, first of all, ahead of Petite Devil? Her kit is more useful in more teams. Let's take a look at it. Starfall actually does some decent damage, where Petite Devil will do more. So in that case, not as good as Petite Devil, but you do need to do damage to the enemy team to win. So there's that. But Stardust heals and makes your hero proc faster. That's very important in Colosseum, as you guys well know. Her passive increases defense of all allies by 150. That is invaluable. She is going to be helping the whole team survive, something that Petite Devil doesn't necessarily do outside of her own proc. And then Starburst also stuns for 5 seconds. The only thing that this one has negative to it is that it's not global like Petite Devil. This one is in a medium area, so you might only stun one hero. You may stun all of them. It's not the greatest in compared to like Petite Devil, but here is what sets her apart. Okay, her defense is 251, plus she's being in the 150, meaning that her defense is pretty much 4 times higher than Petite Devil. That means that Witch Doll can be a good counter to assassins if your enemies are loading up on assassins, to keep away from like your healer or something like that, because she can actually take a hit, whereas Petite Devil not so much. Not only that, she is going to be helping your team out with heals, more procs, etc. So she would fit into more teams. So you gotta keep that into account. She would fit into more teams, which is why I put her as my number 3. But with all of that being said, let's go ahead and look at my number 2, which is the only free-to-play hero in this list. And that is, to no one's surprise, Rose Knight is the best free-to-play hero in Colosseum. She just brings so much to the table. First of all, she is a tank that does pretty decent damage, also heals, also sends out shields to everybody in the team. Her kit is just amazing. Look at this. Look at this. Restores HP of allies. So she heals allies with the lowest HP, meaning that she actually will heal somebody that actually needs it. And reduces damage taken by 30%. That is huge. Justice Call absorbs up to 6,000 damage at the beginning of the battle for 8 seconds. So basically you're saying that at the beginning of the battle, I'm going to have the advantage right off the bat. Yes, please. Roseheart increases magic defense by 300. Not only are her stats already decent, her magic defense is already almost 1,000, but she's going to make it even higher, making her a very, very good magic defense team to go up against, like I mentioned earlier, a bunch of these mages that are running around, the Witch Dolls, the Petite Devils, etc. She is very, very good about that. And the shield throw. Listen, this hits 6 times. Oh, level 27. This hits 6 times. Only stuns for 1 second. But listen, it's not so much about how long she stuns for. The most useful thing about the shield throw is that it will interrupt whatever the enemy is doing. If a Don Guapo is about to use his ultimate and he just jumps up in the air and starts shooting, and she uses this right away on him, his ultimate literally gets cancelled. And this goes on and on with other ultimates that aren't like just one-time activations. This can literally just cancel their ultimate, and it actually does really decent damage. So Rose Knight brings everything to the table. Tank, heals, shields, everything you want, she has it. Now, who is number 1? I think you guys already know by now, but my number 1 Colosseum hero is, to no one's surprise, Lore Weaver. She's not only the best healer in the game, but she brings so much to the table. Look, listen, first of all, Spirit Hammer, even though this is an RNG skill, she flings it at a random enemy. It does 5,000 damage. Like, that's a lot. And it stuns for 3 seconds, okay? And then everything else is all about healing. Like, if you're bringing a healer, you want the healer to just heal every time they get a chance. And that's what she does. Requiem of Rebirth, heals. Final Gift, heals. Phantom Castle, heals. Not only heals, but it lowers the damage you take by 20%. You can't get better than Lore Weaver. This is why you see her in pretty much 99% of teams. And if you're not using Lore Weaver, you have a very big weakness that can easily be exploited. So those are my top 5 Colosseum heroes that I currently have. Now, of course, there are a couple of ones that I don't have maxed out that I don't really use, like Chronicler. That she's still to be determined. I am planning on maxing her out, not just because of her stats, but I mean that is a big reason. But she actually does seem to be pretty decent in Colosseum and Monster Hunting. And then Master Cook is another one that I could see people using quite a bit, but again, it's more like a niche use. Yeah. On to my honorable mentions. There are specifically 2 heroes that I want to mention, and this is for the free-to-play players that are watching this, and you're like, well, dang, I don't have, like, all of those heroes, except Rose Knight. First of all, Demon Slayer. A lot of questions that you may have for Colosseum, the answer is Demon Slayer. Having an issue with their healer? Demon Slayer. They have a lot of magic users in their team? Demon Slayer. You need somebody to jump over to interrupt their backline? Demon Slayer. What's your question? Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is one of the best free-to-play heroes for Colosseum, bar none. Also, with that being said, he has a partner, which is going to be another honorable mention if I can find her, Tracker. Demon Slayer Tracker combo is super solid and very underrated. Tracker comes with a stun and a bunch of burst damage, but what ends up happening is that her stun and Demon Slayer's jump, a lot of times they literally just make the most perfect combo that you can see. So Tracker, Demon Slayer, Rose Knight, if you're a free-to-play player, that is an amazing start. And even if you're not free-to-play players, you can probably see these 2 on a lot of teams. Probably Demon Slayer more so than Tracker, but it wouldn't be very uncommon to see both of them on a team. So, like I mentioned before, let me know if you disagree with any of them. And if you do, then let me know what heroes you would switch and why. It starts off another conversation. And I want to go ahead and start covering these 5 heroes that I just went over in their own separate videos to like highlight why they're so good. For those of you that are interested, because Colosseum, I really like Colosseum. I still think that it needs a bit of an overhaul. I think it's time for them to change a couple of things. Like, for instance, after a match, I want to be able to see statistics. I want to see who did the most damage, who did the most healing, who did the most shielding, blah, 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 blah. Because that will help people understand what teams or what heroes work and what's not working, etc. But yeah, that's another video. Like I said, leave it in the comment section if you agree or if you disagree. Appreciate you guys for watching, and until later, bye.